Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today is a very special video because I'm going to be cloning Airbnb inside of Lovable. We're going to have a homepage with different homes, different experiences, different services. We have this search bar where we can search for a specific city like Miami and get the results of Miami. We're going to have a product or a home detail page that looks exactly how it looks like in Airbnb, right? Right now, there's no reviews. If once you start adding reviews, you can see the reviews over here. You can book a specific time like this, right? I can click on reserve, go like this. It's going to open in a new tab in a sandbox environment where I can then like add a fake card like this, add in some fake month and date and do something like this. And then once the payment is complete, we get a booking confirmation, we get a booking email, and then if I go to my emails, you can see that we have our email confirmation booked to my email with a specific type of design that Lovable created for us. And going back into our Lovable project, we also have different databases that are native to Lovable. So basically we have different bookings, messages, listings, profiles, we have our users, we have storage. We use different API keys like webhooks, secret keys for Stripe, Resend API key for the emails. And we brought in all of these components using the MagicPath Chrome extension where you can basically just copy a specific component like this, right? Copy it over here and then bring it into MagicPath where you have all of the different individual components that we can eventually just take and get the code, copy the code, and bring it into Lovable and replace the different sections with these different components. And by the way, guys, I also have a Discord community, a free Discord community where we do daily live calls every single weekday at around 11 a.m. Eastern time, where a bunch of different startup founders, designers, developers talking about different tools, topics, and challenges in our lives. So if you guys are interested in joining these calls, feel free to join the link down in the description below. All right, so it all starts here in Airbnb. It's very important to kind of understand the different pages, the different flows, the different types of users we're going to have here. So, you can be a homeowner, you can be an apartment owner and want to rent out your home or apartment inside of Airbnb. Or, you can also be like an independent tourist that wants to go to Orlando or to Madrid and rent out a specific home, right? With your wife or with your family, whatever. So it's just important for us to kind of go through the different pages before we even think about design or building and kind of understand the different flows for the different users. All right, and over here on the right side, I'm going to open Excalidraw so that we can kind of easily map out the flow. So we have homes, we have experiences, we have services. So I think it's kind of important to type that out over here. So we have these different things over here. I'm just going to type in home and I'm going to make them turn them into like a blue color, maybe something like this, maybe a light blue. Home, we have experiences, and we have services. This is homes, plural. So these are the three different feeds that we get inside of this main homepage. And basically what we get is we just, like I said, get different feeds, right? And inside of each one, we have this little card over here. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this one and we're gonna bring this into here. So we have just like a nice visual representation of what this looks like. So for example, this is, events in Miami. So this one looks like a pretty cool event with a jet ski. Let's just get this, bring this over here, boom. And then we have services, which is something different. So events are more like, jet skis. We have like a hiking trip, yacht adventure, but services are more for like specific people doing a job, right? Like a photographer right over here, right? Photography or massage. So, or training. So let's just get one of the massage ones. That's a good example. So we have this, and we're starting to slowly get our main website here inside of Excalidraw. And obviously, we have these different tabs. We have the ability to search, which is also very good point to add. So ability to search, right? So search, and we're gonna make this maybe like some type of other color, like a gray. And then something very important, we have this globe. Okay, so this is just changing the language. This might not be so important for us right now, but we have this login or sign up. So that's something that I would say is pretty important to add. So we need to have this login slash sign up page. And if we click on this login or sign up, we get this pop-up, right? So in our clone, we could probably also make a pop-up. We can even make it a little bit smaller to represent it as a smaller pop-up. So we can add like this little arrow going like this, boom, click on enter. We have our pop-up. Let's just write pop-up at the bottom. And we can do something like this, take a little screenshot, bloop, bring it in here, put it at the bottom, perfect. And once you're signed up, we're gonna have different things. You're gonna be either a host or you're gonna be, a tourist, right? Someone that wants to go on vacation. So these options, I would say they're not important for our V0 MVP prototype. Maybe Help Center would be good, but again, Help Center has a lot of these different pages. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Become a host, what is this? So it's like another type of login. So this is more for like a user login or for a tourist, right? Let's say for tourists. I don't know if that's the right word, for tourists or for travelers. Let's put travelers. And then we have one for hosts slash workers, right? And then that one is going to be, become a host. Let's just click on this again, screenshot, and just bring this in here. It's just important to kind of highlight the different flows, right? So you get this, become a host, another screenshot of this, and then we're going to have the exact same thing over here, but it's going to basically create another flow. So get this, and then we can just get this, and boom. So again, we can do this little arrow going like this, and another arrow going like this, and boom, we have our different sign up flows and sign in flows. So this is more for like both, I would say. We don't have to think about it so much. I think this is a good way to start. Another thing that I would say is important, if I were to log in or sign up, let me just log in really quick. So this is me right now. And right now I have this wish list, trips, messages, profile. So these can also be different, things for a logged in user. So we can put it like in the same type of column as this one so that it's like all in the same place. So we can just move these guys around over here. And I would even maybe delete this. And then we have this small thing over here. We can call this like user profile. And put this over here. So this is like me. And then we have, if I were to click on my profile, we can see we have like a profile page, user profile page, which looks like this. And I have to change my location because I'm not in Germany anymore. So it looks like this. And then we have these other things over here in the bottom, which we can also add. Just gonna put that here, the bottom, perfect, awesome. So profile page for the user, which is me. And now, and I also wanted to take a screenshot of this because this is also like a good thing to add in that menu, which is over here. And then we have different pages for these things. So for example, for wish list, These are like this is like my specific wish list for different places. So example for this, and let's just move this over here. Wish list would look like this. Then we have the trips. I can see my past trips. Oh, I guess this doesn't exist, or I didn't do this. I have my messages from all my different trips in the past, so I can just, again, do this over here, and the profile is this again. So that means that I can just maybe get like this little pencil tool and draw this going like this, draw this messages over here, and then the profile goes over here. Perfect. And for the host page, I can see that we have some things on the internet. So for example, this is like okay, we have like this over here, which is basically like different things. So we can copy this and create a concept out of this. Since I'm not a host, I don't really know how this looks like, but we can just create a concept based off of this screenshot, and that might work. So let's just do that. And let's call this like host admin page, or host admin, right? Now inside of Airbnb, we have these different things here. So if I were to click on one of these pages, we get like the property page or the listing page. So the listing page, includes this. It's like basically like, the nav bar, images of the location, reviews, ability to choose a room, and so on and so forth. So that's another big page that we need to add. This is like the listing page. And then you can, for example, choose a room. We can choose this one. And then we have the confirmation page. So I'm just gonna go like this, payment confirmation page. Let's actually put these on the side so that each one has their own kind of row. This would be like more admin stuff, if I can select it. So this is like more admin stuff. This is more like the main pages. Put them like this. And then this would be the payment checkout page. And over here, we're going to be using Stripe as our integration for checkout. So let's just do that. We're going to want to put this over here on the right side. Why isn't it letting me select? Okay. I'll put this on the right side. Let me just move this to the side a bit. Perfect. And then going back here, we want to also choose or have the ability to add reviews. So this is also something that I would say would be integrated into something like Supabase. Depending on what we're going to be using, I'm not sure if we want to use Lovable or V0. While I'm making this video, I'm not sure yet, but we'll find out. I'm kind of leaning into V0. So let's see. Then we get this. Let's bring this to the top if we can. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, we can't. So let's just do reviews like this. You know that it's reviews. And this is also going to be some type of Supabase integration, like I said. I'm trying to think what else we need here. We have like the main flow here, right? We have the main flow. Don't really know what else is needed. I guess if you want to search for something, so if we search for like Seville and we go like these dates and we add one adult, we can get like this listings page. This might be like a good one, and we can integrate some type of map. So search page. And I think that's pretty much like the main thing that we want to do. So we can do like search feed. And we can move these to the side. Move this one a little bit left. And move this here and make this a bit smaller. And so, perfect. So yeah, I think another complicated thing would be this map. We're going to try to do something for that. Let's see how that goes. It's going to be a pretty long build, I'm going to have to say. But we got the flow ready. Next step here would be to kind of design these different pages, right? We want to design the home page. We want to design search, listing, checkout, this one as well, login, right? We want to design the login sign up process as well, and the admin page and the profile page. So there's a few different pages that we want to kind of design here. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open MagicPath, and I'm going to open a new file in MagicPath, and I'm going to have the homepage of Airbnb open. I'm going to zoom it in a bit so it's 100%, perfect. And now we're going to start bringing in the different sections. And we also have these little like icons over here. We have the search bar, we have the logo, we have this over here on the right, we have these cards. So all of these different things, I'm going to use the Chrome extension, which is called, let's go over here to view tutorial. And over here, you can see the extension. It's called Web Capture HTML to React with MagicPath. So this is the Chrome extension that I'm going to be using for this video. And once you install it, you're going to have it up here on the top right. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a specific element. So for example, you can select something like this, right? Select this. It's going to convert the element in a few seconds. You copy this, and then it's going to create this, right? You do the same thing with the nav bar. You copy this, bring it in like this. Same thing with this. And then you're going to start getting all of these different sections. So I'm going to want to make these small, put them here into like little sections over here, grab this, right? And each one has like a code file. So you can see this was called Airbnb tab bar, and this is their whole code bar. And this is going to be very important for us in order to build it out in that other tool. I still haven't decided whether it be V0 or Lovable. Let's see. But this eventually will be on top of this. This will eventually go on the right side over here. And then we can do the same thing with the logo. Let me just remove that tab. We can do the same thing with the logo. Select this logo, copy, go into MagicPath, paste. So think of it like as little Lego pieces. I always say this in the different streams and videos that I do. Lego pieces, right? And eventually you're gonna like have these like little Lego pieces and combine them all into one Lego set, right? Which would be our website. So I'm just gonna bombard my MagicPath file with these different things. So we can go like this, I would say, copy, paste that in here. I also see that these different things have different states. So for example, I would want to maybe select this. So these things have different states. So I would want to maybe select this. And these things have different states. So I would eventually want to select certain things. So for example, we can select one of these. Like let's just go like this, copy, bring it to MagicPath. And then we can just paste it in here. And we can also do the same thing even for the footer, I would say. So we can grab like that global component of the footer. We copy it, we paste it over here. Do the same thing with this bottom part. And sometimes certain sections are going to be too big to copy. And you would basically want to just copy certain sections of that particular section and then stack them up together later. That's no problem, right? It's just important to get the different sections together. And I think we have a good amount of things for the home page. So, we can bring these all together like this, put this maybe next to the nav bar. I guess there might be a few things that I forgot, but we can just do that when that comes, when we need it. But this is like good for the actual home page. All right, so now what we can do is organize this in a way that's easy for us to navigate. So something like this, put the nav bar over here, put this next to the nav bar, put this over here, put this next to this. This is like the little arrow. This is like the product card. We want to put this footer here as well. We want to get this. Perfect. So this is kind of like the main structure of the homepage. Now let's go back into into Excalidraw. So the search feed is the next thing. So let's just search something nearby, or actually something in Rio from this date to this date. And let's add one adult. and let's try to now get these things. So for example, let's go ahead and get the MagicPath Chrome extension, and let's try to get certain things from here. Maybe some of these buttons. Some things we can keep the same, like this or like this. We can also try to get this over here. Prices include all fees, maybe, or this entire banner, if it's possible. So as you can see, this was like too big. There's a few reasons why this happens. Like there's a lot going on in the back end, especially I think it's this one that's kind of being annoying, and specifically this icon maybe. So when this happens, when something small like this is kind of being annoying, what you can do is you can try to inspect the page and see, yeah, it's like a GIF or something like that, an SVG, and you can try to import this SVG. Oh, it's a Lottie, I can see. We might want to skip this. Let's just close this. Let's just get the, let's refresh this page. And let's get this card, bring it into MagicPath. We can also get sections like this, search similar dates. We can copy this, bring this in here. And we have that map component, which is also going to be kind of tough to copy because this is like an embed. I think they're using something like Mapbox or some similar type of software. So it's going to be tough to copy, as you can see. So we just need to copy some of the controls and some of these like little icons. So we can just get something like this, right? Like these are like the price icons that would go on the map. And we can just tell our vibe coding tool that we're going to use to build this to use that, like use that code from this as a reference. So as you can see, we even have like these little pointers. So we can grab some of these. I'm gonna go like this and get this. This is like the airport, I guess. We can grab this one, copy component. And then let's just slowly start putting everything together in one place. All right, and we're just going to continue with the other pages. So for example, this, we can convert this, copy this component, bring it into MagicPath and paste it. So we're just going to have like a big collection of different elements that we're going to eventually, bring into our vibe coding tool. So again, we got our nice Copacabana beach. We get our gallery over here. Now we need to just do the same thing with these different ones. So we can get like a little card like this. Again, this little Lottie is causing some big problems. So we're just gonna skip that and just do this one. Copy, MagicPath, paste, go back here, and do the same thing with all of these other things. Maybe something like this. And it has this nice sticky effect. We're gonna have to probably do that later. Let me just, again, go ahead and copy these different sections. So, and this is gonna take quite some time, guys. It's, with a lot of effort comes great output or great quality. So we gotta be patient and do all of this and hope for the best, right? Again, we have this one. Select what this place offers. Air conditioning, amazing. I think that's very important, right? Air conditioning. Let's go back here and we go like this. This one might be complicated because it has a lot of different options. Yeah. So let's try another one. We can kind of do this in a manual way. We'll do that soon. Select element. This is like the whole reviews. Let's see if we can copy this whole one. If not, we're just going to go section by section, which is probably what we'll do. So select element, copy this section, bring it into MagicPath, and so on and so forth. Bring it over here. Right, so now we have this page kind of built out. We have this one, we have the listing page, we have the reviews. Now we have to go to the checkout page. So let's pretend to check out this nice apartment in Rio. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, and let's just go back. And what's the next thing that we have to do? We have to do this. So login, sign up, pop up. So how does that look like? If I were to log out, let's just get this login thing. And I'm just gonna remove this. I'm gonna open this in a new tab. I kind of want them to not remember me. If we can't do that, what we can also do is we can go take a screenshot of this and go into MagicPath and bring in the screenshot as a reference and say build out this login / sign up card. And we can just use the same colors as here, for example. But yeah, let's just do it like that for this one. Bring this over here, and as you can see, these are ones from the checkout page, looking fantastic, looking great. Just got to put them next to each other. Boom. We probably have to change my personal information, but we'll do that. All right, perfect. So we got that. Let's go back into Excalidraw, our user profile. So let me log in again. And when I log in, I'm just gonna take a nice picture of my wish list, or use the Chrome extension to copy these things. So let's see if I can copy this. Might be too much. Might be too much. It is. So for example, we want our recently viewed like this. Bring that into MagicPath. What is this again? This is a sign-in card. Look at how amazing that looks like. It's exactly how we wanted it, and kind of understands the colors and everything. We didn't even need the Chrome extension for this. So again, let's just paste this in here. This is the next thing. And all of these things, by the way, if you're watching this video right now, all of these things are going to be available to you. I'm going to have them attached here in the description of this video. But let's just continue. Wish list. I mean, we can ask the AI to build this format, so we don't really need that. Let's go to messages. And in messages, let's just go like that. And I hope nothing private comes out. I don't think so. So let's select the element, select this whole chat interface, bring that over here. And we can select this. You can see that there's a bunch of different messages, so it might not be the best thing, but then let's go a little bit one step deeper. Let's choose something like this, copy, paste over here in the bottom. And now we just need like this profile page, so we can go ahead and do that. So where was it? Profile. And I had like a smaller version. I can get this. This is going to be hard to duplicate because they're like unique designs. Maybe we don't get this. Maybe we just get like the reviews and the interest and these tabs over here. So I'm going to try first with the tabs on the left. So profile and copy, and then we're going to paste this in. And the whole like point here is that I want to first build out the whole layout, like in Lovable or V0 or whatever I'm going to use. Still don't know. I'm going to build out the layout, and then I'm going to go like component by component, say like, let's replace this component or this section with this specific code component from MagicPath. So let's get that, copy, bring into MagicPath. And there's probably going to be more components that we're going to have to bring in, but you know, like I said, this is like a good starting point. So we have a bunch of cool components that we can use for now. Look exactly like in the Airbnb website, and that's exactly what we want. We want like a one-on-one clone kind of. Obviously, it's not going to be Airbnb. Airbnb is a huge team with a bunch of engineers, designers, and it's just, we can't build it in a YouTube video, but we can build a cool clone, right? So profile page is done. We would want also this dashboard page, and we can ask, we actually need this as well. So become a host. Let's do that. Flow, become a host. Let's just get the Chrome extension, and we copy this if we can. If we can't, as you can see, since this is like some type of pop-up, we could go ahead and grab this, go into MagicPath, double click, and get that screenshot and bring it here and build out this this card, right? Go over here, home, next. Okay, so this is like its entire flow. This is going to be a little bit too complicated for now. I don't want to do this. It's going to be too complicated. But what else do we have? We can use this card from before. This one as well. This is something cool. And the design isn't so nice, but at least we can try. So let's say build out this admin dashboard. Build out this admin dashboard for Airbnb. Look at that, it even got like these little icons. These are not the icons that we want, but still, they look pretty cool. Anyways, that's done. So I think we have a good starting point for our components. We brought in all of these components using the Chrome extension. Now our next step is to open our tool where we're going to actually build out the app. You can use something like Cursor, which is a little bit more advanced. It's an IDE for code, right? Or you can use something like Lovable or V0. And you know what, guys? I'm going to be using Lovable because Lovable is kind of like the most popular vibe coding tool out there. I guess I can use V0 for another project, for another video, but in today's video, we can do Lovable. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open Lovable. So in Lovable, what I want to do is I want to say build out an Airbnb clone. So we need to mention the different pages. So for example, the home page, we need to say like, so we can say like, let's add the home page with 3 different tabs for homes, experiences, and services. So let's, these are the different pages. And then we can just do like shift enter home page with 3 tabs, homes with 3 tabs, with 3 tabs and their own feeds, homes, experiences, and services. Then we can do the next one, which is search feed, a search feed page that shows after the user searches with the search bar. So we're just gonna like list all these different pages again, a listing page. So we can go again and say a listing page for the home. And you could like eventually like write down the different reviews and the different, the different sections of this listing page. But I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on with the different other pages. So a checkout page, checkout page. Then we're gonna do let's go over here, a profile page, a user profile page. Oh no, let's actually now divide it. And we can say in 2 flows for 2 different types of users, the traveler or the let's say, or the host, right? We can say for the traveler, a profile page, a wish list page, and what else was it? And a messages page. And then for the host, an admin page with a dashboard, messages and listings and stats. So I think this is good. Let's go ahead and submit this. All right, and we get this now. So yeah, exactly what you would expect from Lovable, which is no big deal, right? We just have to change a few things. So switch to hosting, switch to traveling. So now, as you can see, if I switch to hosting, we get our dashboard, we get our different messages. And if I switch to traveling and I go over here, we get our traveler thing, we get our wish list, we get our nav bar that's not working. We go over here, we can search for Miami and search, and we get stays in Miami from these days. We don't really get a map view, I think. No. So we're going to have to add that as well. there's a lot of things that we have to kind of replace here, right? So let's go back into MagicPath and start adding the different things, like the different sections or the different elements that we need to replace. So going back to Airbnb, the nav bar looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to first tell the Lovable to structure the nav bar to look like this before we actually start bringing in our code elements. So I'm going to say the top section of the website should be more like this. All right, perfect. So if we go back into Lovable, it's starting to look more like it. So we get this instead of that weird hero section that I gave us. Obviously, it's not bad because we didn't really ask it to do it before. But now that we give it this image reference, it starts to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start. Let's go over here. We can say, all right, if we click on these have to switch to experiences. So over here, we can select this and say these 3 options should change the feeds from homes to experiences to services, right? So these are like the different feeds. All right, so now I can see that I'm clicking on these things and they're changing. So great, but I want the design here to change. So if we go back into MagicPath and we go over here, we can see that this tab bar is exactly what we want. We want something exactly like this. So we can go into the code, copy this single file, and we can say, we can again select this element and we can say replace this with this and paste in this code. All right, and boom, look at that. So it even works with a different selector. So we have homes, experiences, services. So that's looking great. It even has like the same GIF from before, right? So this is looking great. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with the logo, with this on the right. This is actually looking pretty cool, but still it's not really the exact same thing from here, kind of. So let's go into MagicPath. And actually what we need to do is we need to select this version that is not logged in, copy and paste it into MagicPath. And then while this loads, we can just replace, let's replace the bar. So let's go ahead and get this code again, copy this single file, go in here and visual edits, select this, replace this with boom. And slowly but surely things are starting to look good. We have our our Airbnb logo over here. We have these different things over here with their GIFs or lotties, whatever this is. And we have these options over here. We can eventually delete this one, for example, if we wanted to. We can put this into one line. We can center this with the nav bar. But as you can see, everything is starting to work now, just like it looks like inside of Airbnb, right? So, and as you can see, once you scroll down, this turns into this nav bar. So that's kind of like the next thing that we're eventually gonna do. But let's just continue on with these other things. So if I go to MagicPath, I'm just gonna copy this over here, and I'm gonna bring this into our Lovable project. So copy this file, and again, replace this with that. So visual edits, and we can now replace the style of the card to look more like this. So again, code and copy that single file and bring it into Lovable. So let's replace the property card. Let's replace the card in the field to match this. Match this, paste and send. And we can also increase the amount of columns because I see over here we do have a lot of columns. We have more columns that are a little bit smaller. So reduce the size of the cards by, let's say, maybe 50%, and make each line have, or make each row have 7 columns. All right, and now it's starting to look good. So if I were to increase the size, it goes into one line. There's about like seven cards in one line or in one row. But, you know, we just have to change these things, change the images to match the images of experiences, change the images to match the services. If I were to decrease the size of this, you know, they kind of collapse into one. And I did kind of a process here. So I asked it to reduce the cards by 50% and make them have 7 rows, but 7 columns, but then it would make it like fixed 7 columns. So if I were to adjust the size of the screen, make it smaller, they would still stay at 7 columns, so it would not look nice. So then I asked it to increase the cards of the size by 20% and then set the cards evenly apart. So when the screen gets thinner, reduce the amount of columns. And then I just did a little bit more of adjustment. The card should be a bit larger so that there's a 20 pixel, only 20 pixels of gap. So as you can see here, it's like 10, 20 pixels. So I kind of wanted it maybe like that. Let's make it 10 pixels of gap between the cards. And now it's actually starting to look more like the actual website. So that's pretty nice. So going here, you see it's starting to look more like it. Still a little bit off, but it's looking good, right? So let's go and kind of adjust the other things. I can see over here we have this, you know, we have this section down here, and I want to see what the color is over here. So we can add the same color up here. So I want to inspect this and see what color this is, because it's like F7, F7, F7. So we can go ahead and visual edit and select this whole thing and go like this, and background, we can do custom, hex, let's go hex F7, F7, F7. All right, click on save. And it saves it as the background color, which looks great. So that's kind of what we want. And now if I go like this, all right, we kind of have to do it for the whole thing and not just make the background color of the entire top section to be F7, F7, F7. All right, and now it works. So that's great. So let's go ahead and continue on with our journey. Let's add like 3 more rows. Let's add 3 more rows for each category. And let's just name the categories again: homes, experiences, services. Let's actually add 5 more rows, so it's a little bit more populated. All right, and now we have different images and we have these different rows. We have these different cities, which is great, right? And now what I want to do is I want to just check this. All right, cool. We even have like pictures of experiences. So it's starting to look a little bit more realistic. Different services, private driver in Las Vegas. That's cool. And if I were to go like this, as you can see, it's starting to look much, much nicer. All right, so let's continue. So we have these different images. We have our nav bar. We have these different options up here, which we can change from experiences to services and so on and so forth. So now the next thing that I want to do here is build out the detail pages for each one. So whenever the user clicks on one of these cards, we have to have a page that basically shows like the images of this place. We have to kind of describe the overall structure of this detail page. So if we go to Excalidraw, we can see that we have kind of like the title of the page. We have a gallery of an image gallery. It might be even good if we kind of like give it a screenshot of this. Maybe we can just grab something like this and give it to our prompt, just like as an image reference. It's obviously not going to create it one-to-one, but it'll at least know what it needs to add, right? So let's just bring in these different screenshots. So when the user clicks on one of the cards, a detail page should show up where they see the images of the home, experience, or service, the title, the description, reviews, plural, and the ability to book. All right, so now I click on this and we get something. right? We still don't get the reviews, but we get the title. So it kind of read the actual screenshot reference that I gave it, gives us the title, gives us the card over here on the right. It gives us a description. It gives us these things, which looks pretty good overall. But again, it looks kind of AI generated. Let's go ahead and go open MagicPath and bring in the sections that we actually want. So for example, I really like this section. So let's get the code for this and replace that older one. So this one with this component that I'm just going to bring in from MagicPath. So I'm going to go ahead and select this card and replace with this, paste in this code, enter. And implementing a review system, we can go ahead and replace the review card with the one that we got from MagicPath. So again, we can do like a visual edit, or we can just ask, we can not do a visual edit, and we can say like, let's replace the review card to look like this. All right, so slowly but surely we're getting the things that we want. So as you can see, I have this like host section, a little bit buggy. Maybe we have this like little space over here that we don't want. I wonder how it looks like over here. It's probably over here. Yeah, they also have it like kind of in the middle. So it's kind of hard to replicate it. Maybe we just have to tell it to move it here in the middle. We can do some type of visual edit in the future, but so we have, you know, meet your host. We have the like this over here. We have this like Airbnb icon over here. We have these reviews that look just like the ones in Airbnb. So if I were to just go down or up over here, well, these are kind of like left aligned. We can tell it to put the image on the left. All right, and now what we want to do is we want to add like we actually want to start adding some different integrations. So I'm going to go back home and I'm just going to click on one of these listings. All right, so this works, this flow works. Let's just go back home and click on another listing. So it's all the same listing page. So let's start adding some types of integration. So let's go ahead and let's add in a login flow for people that want to host a home and a login flow for people that want to rent a home. Actually, let's just put home experience and service and do the same over here. Copy, paste, use Supabase authentication. Click on enter. And we're going to enable the cloud function over here. So let's click on allow. All right, so now as you can see, we have a type of authentication page. So I'm actually going to go here. And when we click on sign up, I want it to look a little bit different. I want there to be a pop-up just like an Airbnb. So if I were to click on this and if I were to sign in, again, which I'm signed in already, I would want this particular pop-up, right? So I'm going to get this code and go ahead and copy this single file. And I'm going to say when the user clicks on sign in or sign up, there should be a pop-up with this. And I basically pasted in this. So let's see how that's going to look like. And obviously we don't have the Google authentication yet, but that's kind of like the next step. Eventually we're going to add that. All right, and it says build unsuccessful, but it actually works. So when I click on this, all right, we have two X buttons. Let's just go ahead and try to delete one of these. If I click on visual edits, I can probably delete this one. Although I would imagine this one to be deleted because I expect the X to be on the left side, not on the right side of the pop-up. So this is looking good. So let's see if we can continue with email. Okay, we get this. Looks a little bit quirky. Doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and add some email of mine and add some type of password. Click on login. Invalid credentials because I haven't logged in yet. So I'm just going to click on sign up. Continue with email, sign up, and we're going to use some type of sign up email. All right, and now I'm signed up. I go like this. Okay, I can see my profile. Profile looks like this. Let's actually change our profile look to something else. I can see that this is it. So I remember that it's a combination between these two. So we have this code, we can copy this code file. Um, so this page, this page, the profile page, should have this on the left panel and this on the right panel. And we go back into MagicPath, copy this file, code file, copy, go back into Lovable, paste, enter. All right, that looks really good. So you can see I have my little sections over here. I have some fun facts on me. I spent too much time design plus code. I love to learn languages and talk tech. Yeah, things haven't changed since I last updated this, which is pretty funny. And then we have to do these past trips tab. We have to do these connection tabs. So that would be like the next step here, I guess. And if I go to my cloud, I can see that we have a database over here with profiles, and I can see that this is one of my profiles. It's me over here, Lucas Marjorie, and I'm a traveler. I'm not a host, right? We have our users with our different signups in the past 7 days. So this is, and my email, as you can see. So you can easily track up your users over here, which is great. We're eventually also going to add some secret keys, you know, I would say mostly with Stripe maybe, or with Resend for email notifications. We're going to do this pretty shortly. I thought we are going to have to use Supabase, but it's pretty cool that Lovable has their own database. So we're just going to be keeping that. All right, so going back to the homepage, I can try to do the flow. So I'm going to see that this is, and I see that each page is a little bit different. So these are all like facades of fake homes, fake experiences, fake services. So I want to make them actually real, that a host can post a home with images and it can be posted over here. So now it's going to ask me to modify the database. So creating listings tables for homes, experiences, and services. So that's exactly what we want. We want the host to be able to post a listing and not have a facade of different listings. And it's going to create a storage bucket for listing images. Allow authenticated users to upload images. Yes. Allow authenticated users to update their own images. Yes. Delete their images. Can allow anyone can view listing images. So perfect. Let's allow this. And so now the listings are pretty much empty, right? I'm logged in. I'm going to become a host. I'm going to create a new listing, and we're going to choose a home, and we're going to say like Casa Blanca. This is my new casa in the Blanca beach, right? Type, let's call it like a villa. Price is $300 per night. Location in Miami, Florida. And now images. Let's choose some images. Now in Midjourney we have some nice villas. So I'm just gonna save these images. Just looking at random beach villas and saving the images to my computer. And then we go back to our file. Let's just go and let's see if we can multi-select. No, we can't. So let's just select that first one that we liked. Right now we can just have one image. So let's just create this listing. Active listing, total bookings. This is also like kind of fake, right? So we have one listing. We have a few fake inquiries. And now let's just switch to the traveler version. Okay, now we get our thing here, and it's still Sarah. So these are a bunch of things that we need to still fix, but eventually it'll be done. So that's the first step. We have our Casablanca. Go back here, and if I were to log out, if I sign out, I can, and if I maybe even refresh my page, it should still show the listing. Yes, it does. So that's a great sign. So our Airbnb is officially working. Like, I mean, it's still like very, very MVP, but we do have this Casablanca here. And if I click on this, it's still like this fake page, this listing page. So the listing page should match the information of the listing and of the host. So let's just go like this. All right, and when I click on the all right, and when I click on the listing page, it's not shown for me, and that's because I'm not signed in. So I would need to sign in order to see the listing page. So I just told the AI to basically fix that. So now it's basically modifying the database to allow anyone to view profiles regardless if you're logged in or logged out. All right, and now if I go like this, I can see my listing page, and it's by me, Lucas. Look at me with my tongue out. I speak these different languages, my work, web design. So it's all looking nice. And so let's just go back to the home page. And so this is working out fine. And again, this is all with the cloud database of Lovable. So it's not even using Supabase anymore. You don't really need that third-party tool anymore. You can just do it all here inside of Lovable. Also now in the search bar, I'm just going to search for New York, for example. Go search, we have nothing. But if I go back to the home page and I search for Miami, we get this villa in Miami that I basically created, right? So that's working as well. And now what I want to do is I want to connect this to Stripe. So this reserve button, this reserve card over here should reflect the information from the listing. So right now it's giving me 345 euros. I don't know why it's giving me euros. Maybe it's because of the original code component that I gave it from before, but we're going to change that. Right, so now we have $300 for one night. So now what I want to do is I want to actually make this working. So for the booking card, I want the user to be able to choose a check-in date, choose a check-out date, choose the amount of guests, and then click on reserve, which they'll then go to a checkout page. All right, and now it says I'll enable Stripe and add date pickers to the booking card, then connect the reserve button to create a Stripe checkout session. So I need the Stripe restricted API key, and we can go into, I'm setting up a sandbox account inside of Stripe. I don't want to use my own Stripe. You could use yours. And I love the documentation of Lovable because they have all of the different types of integrations, and they teach you kind of how to use the secret keys or the API keys from all of these different integrations. So for example, for Stripe, they have this, right? So they basically go step by step and tell you where you can find everything. So in that case, let's just do that. So as you can see, we're getting something similar to this. You just have to kind of read through this to see where you can find it. I already know that it's over here. I'm guessing this is like a test secret key, so I'm probably going to use this for this case. All right, so now if I go to this product or to this listing detail page, and since it's connected to Stripe, right, I added that Stripe API, that secret key. I'm using a sandbox, by the way, so this is not a real Stripe account, but you could just go down here and create like a real Stripe account, add in your payment details and all of that. But with the secret key, I just added the secret key to the field somewhere up here, right over here, right? And basically allow the permissions, or allowed Lovable to adjust the permissions in the back end to accept payments. So now if I go to this particular villa, and I decide to check in on the 15th, or let's just say on the 16th, and I check out on the 25th, right? 9 nights, $300 for $300 a night, it should say. So that's another thing that we can correct. For 2 guests, we can click on reserve, and when I click on reserve, it should take me to the Stripe page, and it does, and it's $3,105. So as you can see, we have the Casablanca 2,700 for 2 nights, plus we have a service fee, platform service fee of $405. And the platform service fees is from your Airbnb, because you would want your project to basically be monetized, right? So Airbnb is going to get a cut of the tourists' money, and most of the money will go to the actual host of this vacation house. Now, what I also want to try to do is, first of all, I want to clear, right now this host dashboard is just random facade information, fake information. I want to actually I want to sync it so that it's actually the real information from our listings. All right, so now, as you can see, Now we have these things, listings, overview, 0 or 0 here, 1 listing. So everything is kind of up to date. Listing, we only have 1. We can delete it if we wanted to. Messages, these are fake messages. Question about check-in time. These are fake. Again, we can remove this. And then we have statistics coming in later. So now what I want to do is actually want to add a new listing. So I'm going to create a new listing and we're going to put it for experiences. And we're going to say, consultation or something like that. Description, web design, consultation on the beach. And then we put, this is not a type. It's a, we're just gonna put consultation. Price, let's put $1 and we're gonna put Miami. And for an image, we can go and back into Midjourney and search for like consultation. And we can look for something, consultation photorealistic. Realistic, I hope I spelled that right. Yeah, and consultation on the beach. Let's actually put that on the beach. Or laptop on the beach maybe would be a good. Yeah, no, this one is laptop on the beach. This one is cool. So then we can just save this image and we can use that as the image of the experience or the service. It might have to be a service, not an experience. And we choose this file, we choose that image status active, right? And then we create the listing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the traveler and I'm going to go to services. And under services, I'm going to select this. And again, we have to add the option to basically, add more photos. This is quite a long time. And we obviously just want two nights. Obviously for experiences, this is going to be like a completely different view of this, but let's go ahead and click on reserve. And we can just put like some test card to test some stuff out. We want to put a month in the future. We want to put like some random name here. Let's put my name, zip code 331772, and then let's go ahead and click on pay, and then the payment is successful, and then we get our booking confirmed. But it would be really nice if we can get this via email as well, and we're not just here in the platform, because what happens if maybe your internet breaks? I don't know, something can happen and you're not sure. And since it's a sandbox account, you really won't see your earnings here. But if we go to the cloud, we can kind of do our research here. We have bookings. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that whenever someone basically, gets something, orders a service, for example, they get an email. So let's use the Resend API for a purchase confirmation email, or you can also like rename it as booking confirmation email, for example. All right, and now it's asking us for this Resend API key. So we're gonna go to Resend, and we're gonna go to our API keys over here, and we're gonna create a new API key. We're gonna call this one Lovable Airbnb, right? And click on Add, and then we're gonna copy this API key, and we're gonna go back in here, paste this in here, click on Submit, and we're just gonna click on X over here. And then eventually inside of the cloud, under secrets, you're gonna see all of your different secret keys. Right now we have Stripe, and eventually the Resend API key is also gonna be shown over there. Okay, so now it says purchase confirmation emails are now set up when booking is successful. So let's book this house, and let's try to click on reserve, test card, like so, and let's put 1 in the future, and that's 1, 1, 2, 3, and here we can put blah blah blah. Actually, let's put Peter Johnson, and let's put 3341424. Click on pay. So this is my email, right? Let's click on pay, and we have the booking confirmed. And now I have to check my email. And look at that. Once your booking is confirmed, you get this booking confirmation email location, Miami. When is the check-in? When is the check-out? Right? Guests to total this. You can even add more stuff. You can ask Lovable to add more things like request chat with your host, or do something in particular like ask for questions or read more about Miami, right? Because that's the place where they're going to be visiting. You can add that here in this email confirmation form. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. There's a lot you can do here. This is just like the very first draft of Airbnb inside of Lovable. You know, Airbnb is a massive app, but it's really interesting that you could basically clone Airbnb using this MagicPath Chrome extension, bringing it into Lovable, and then adding all the different integrations and making it all work inside of Lovable. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please feel free to like the video. Feel free to subscribe. I know that some of you that are watching are not subscribed. I do a bunch of different videos just like this, and I'm gonna be doing more long form videos, so you guys can stick around and watch. And like always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.